What's going on, everybody? What is going on? What's up? What's up? Man, it's one hell of a day. The good old blood moon. I was talking about that yesterday, right? Yesterday was supposed to be a blood moon where things are supposed to go down. Historically, Bitcoin goes down during a blood moon, and it didn't happen. That means the crypto market is really strong. And there was a flurry of good news today, like really good news, right? It was insane. So yeah, I was looking up, I was trying to look through some of the past dates. I show this before in a live stream, a couple live streams back, not the one from yesterday, but yeah, the blood moon was yesterday, and usually there's a big dip, which is crazy. Like it coincided with the FTX collapse and all these different dates where Bitcoin is usually going down, but yeah, the FTX blood moon, yeah, all of this. So it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Actually, quite the opposite happened. So it was a very, very strong day with some very, very, very good news across the board. It's funny. Crypto Bros celebrating a 7% bounce after a 50% brutal dump. Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but a 7% bounce is actually kind of significant. You know, it's just like, woohoo! Right? Why is your name Code Monkey Mike? I know you work for Apple, you're good with coding, but why the monkey part? No, code monkey is just a normal term in the software industry. Maybe you're not familiar with it, but yeah, if you're a code monkey, it's just a normal term. I was when I started to just talk about anything in my channel. When I started to just talk about anything and everything rather than just code, I was trying to figure out if I should change my name, but none of it made sense. I was like, what? I was mostly talking about economics topics and financial topics and crypto and so on. And I was like, okay, you know, financial monkey doesn't make sense, right? But code monkey is just a normal term for software guys, right? And I took an example from this other guy. He doesn't make any videos anymore. He has a channel called Tech Lead. He has like a couple million subscribers, but like me, he had a channel just about tech and about code. You know, Tech Lead is a tech lead in the software industry. Tech Lead is sort of like a software engineer that's just sort of elevating to a manager, where you have managerial aspects of your job, but you know, you might manage a few other engineers, but you're still coding. And but he started talking about other things related to money and all this other stuff in crypto, and he just kept his name Tech Lead. So I figured, oh, I'll just do the same. My channel was originally started as I started making tutorials for Roku development, you know, like the operating system for TVs. And I think I deleted most of those videos. If you go way back, most of my coding videos are gone. But yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, that's why I figured it makes sense, right? If I start making software for my community, my crypto community, it makes sense. Okay, he's a software guy. He has software that, you know, helps, you know, he has these highly advanced bots that finds these really good trades. He has swing trading software. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. You know, it's like this software guy, he has a crypto community. So yeah, it was something like that. Yo, what's going on? Yeah, and I always wondered, like, should I change my name of my channel? Should I like Code Monkey Mike Crypto just to add crypto in? I don't know if it. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, I keep the monkey theme. I started getting into those highly advanced, highly edited videos. If anybody has seen some of those videos on my channel, from, you know, over a year ago, or if you go to anybody who is new to my live streams but hasn't really seen my videos I made in the past, I started to become a really good video editor. Then I started to find other guys who did help me edit just to take the workload off. And well, you can see there's a playlist here if you go to the homepage of my YouTube channel called Epic Videos, and most of them are here. There are other highly edited videos, but I think my favorite ones are in here. Here's FTX. My videos about FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried. Crazy, wacky, and wild, and fast-paced for the most part. But yeah. But yeah, it was a good damn day today. It was a good. Yeah, this is funny. Oh my god. Funny, but yeah, let's get into all this good news today. We got a lot of good news today. Some really, really good news items, right? So ADP employment change. It was it's been creeping up the last few weeks, right? Prior was 22K. Expected was 50K. And then actual was it came in at 63K. Like blown away expectations. If you see prior, it's been itching up. Like prior, where's ADP? No, I say is it here? First to pay ADP. Oh, right here, yeah. So you see, so prior week was like 11K was expected, 12K was actual. It's just like it's been going wild within everything has been, not everything, because we saw producer price index and we saw ISM PMI just 2 days ago, bad, right? Like an indicator of producer prices. And then on Friday was the PPI, producer price index, that was really bad. So like an indicator that there might be inflation ahead. But nonetheless, everything else has really been blowing away expectations. Today we had ISM services come out. ISM services PMI. Yeah, I mean, expected was 53.5. The actual was 56.1. So it's just like, it's like this good news across the board. Same, if you break it down to the different indexes, we got, the employment, which is better than prior, right? So 51 compared to 50. Anything above 50 is expansionary, right? Everything is a business activity, 59, 57, new orders, 58 compared to 53, which is like, oh my God, man. Oh my God. So we're in expansion territory right now. Plus, there was some good news today. Hold on. There was some good news today that Iran is willing to talk, and something along those lines. So there was good news in the oil market, in the oil prices. They came down or something like that, and then with anticipation that this war is going to end very, very soon, right? That would be crazy because there was that 12-day war, right, with Israel and Iran. Was last year, whatever it was. But yeah, it would be crazy if it's like just a short. But yeah, Iran, they've been pissing people off. They've been attacking all their neighbors, thinking that it's going to put pressure on the U.S. to stop the war. But their neighbors, or everybody's saying that they're turning against Iran. So it's not a good thing. And that's good for everybody. Obviously, war is bad. You don't want people to die, but it's good if it just ends. It's going to end fast. It's good. It's going to end, and it's good for everybody. It's only good for having less people dying, but it's also good for the markets and so on. And that's why we're here, right? So, optimism across the board. There's a lot of items that's been like so insanely bullish today. I saw this. This was this is pretty good. This has hit me. So Trump said the AI energy demand could triple by 2035, and that tech companies may build their own power plants and sell excess electricity back to the grid. And I was like, damn, this is like me, like being this futurist, this geek and stuff like that. I'm like, I look at all these things and like, how does humanity become like a Carter-Sev type 1 civilization, right? There's type 1, type 2, type 3. So Carter-Sev type 1 civilization means we have the ability to harness all the power that can be produced from our own planet. a type 1 civilization. And I just, I get really geeky with things like that. And I'm like, there could be a day where there's so much energy that's needed for new initiatives that separate companies are going to figure out ways to produce more energy, be more, like a lot more than where we are now. Because I forgot where we are on that level of being a Carter-Sev type 1 civilization. Like I didn't even think we're like 1% of that way. So we got a long way to go to get that way. But yeah, I just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, like, that's pretty cool. There could be like an energy revolution, like 2035, 10 years from now. Like right now we're dealing with this AI explosion and an AI boom. And then subsequently, maybe in a few years, there's going to be like an AI bubble. There's going to be an economic crash, right? But if you try to foresee the future, not just be so short-sighted as to what's going to happen like right now, when's our next crash going to be, when's our next economic explosion going to be, and things like that, what's going to happen after that, right? And I mean, it could be revolving around energy. That would be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyways, that's just a geek in me. What program do you use to track the economic news? Economic news? Maybe I don't understand your question. What program? I mean, economic news, are you talking about this? Because you're not talking about the software that I create for my crypto, right? No. This is FinViz, right? Let me know if that answers your question. So finviz.com, and then I go to finviz.com/calendar. All right, and then calendar will pick. I don't know what that means. Got it? Okay, that answers your question. Okay. Yeah, I go to FinViz. And then sometimes I go to this is the other site, Forex trading. Oh, what am I doing? Forex. I'm sorry, Forex Factory, and then /calendar. But I'm just used to going to FinViz, and occasionally they might not update something here, and then I'm like, okay, why didn't they update it? Because the time it already came out, and I might go to Forex as a secondary, Forex Factory as a secondary, just to find more information. But yeah. So yeah, good news across the board, all this good stuff. Like I said, crypto is strong enough to not come down with a new war, right? Like over the weekend, and also strong enough to not come down and to break the pattern of coming down every time there's a blood moon. For some reason, it happens every time. Who the hell knows why? But if it's just coincidence, or if there's some superstitious traders that say, okay, I'm gonna cash out of the market when a blood moon comes. I have no idea why he would do that, but who knows what people are thinking. But at least for now, crypto is strong enough to not come down when there's just like the slightest bad news. Like we've been used to that over the last 4 years, especially last year. We've been used to the slightest little piece of bad news just taking us down, right? And apparently that's not happening anymore. And the difference right now that we're dealing with is that, the difference right now is that, wow, there's major differences in the business cycle right now. This bear market is happening as QE is starting. It's happening as fingers crossed, as the economy is gearing up for expansion. So, and usually, typically, crypto bear market starts as the economy starts going into contraction, and QT starts, and things like that. So, it's an interesting mix where everybody was expecting a 4-year cycle, so then they start dumping. Right, when they think the 4-year cycle is over, they take the market down, but at the same time, QE is starting, and the business cycle is starting to get this engines all greased and running and revved up. So it looks like, we're not gonna, unless there's some sort of a black swan event, it looks like we're not going to bottom in October like a lot of people think. So now when it comes to March, I was explaining this yesterday, when it comes to March, March is typically a good month in the bear market. So you have to expect, and you can't just keep on going up forever, right? So you have to expect, if we do good in March, if we do good just this week in March, or if we do good in the entire month of March, you still have to expect that we're going to probably retrace and go back down in April. So that, that's the expectation, but it's good news that we're going up, right? I think we're doing pretty good. We probably don't have enough liquidity to go up all the way up to like the 100K mark, the 50-week moving average. At least not in March. We'll probably go up. I mean, I doubt we'd even go up to 85K, 84. We'll probably hit some good resistance around like 84, 85 and so on. So even if we get that high, but then we're probably just going to go back down. Even if we get up to 84K this month, that would be interesting. I'm skeptical, but still, we'll see what happens. Crypto is very resilient at this particular moment, so it's good news. Then when we go back down, let's say we go back down in April, I highly doubt we're going to go back down to our bottom, 59K. I think the bottom was already in, which is why, a lot of you should have just been DCAing, not waiting for the bottom in October, because you might wreck yourself, man. And the only way, honestly, the only way that we could, with good liquidity in the market, QE pumping, the business cycle, like I just said, ISM, all this good news is coming out. Employment readings are getting better and better. People are going to start, like, that's another thing. Google Trends last week said that it was like the term buy Bitcoin was at its highest in searches over the last 5 years. Since like 5 years, that's insane. So if that's happening, people are getting jobs and they want to spend their money, they want to buy crypto. So you have to expect it. You have to expect that we're going to be, we're going to encounter a lot of support, I would say, if we go back down and retrace. There's going to be higher lows when we retrace. So a lot of support. And, at the same time, you have to think the only way we're going to go back down to 59K or below is if there's some sort of a black swan event. Obviously, it's starting to look like the war with Iran is going to end this month. Knock on wood, hopefully, fingers crossed. So nothing bad is going to happen there. But, there could just be like a collapse of an exchange. And, that's a black swan event. That'll take us down. Maybe down to my line in the sand, which is 52K. I have high, sincere doubts that we're going that low. Even with a black swan event, that we'll go down to 52K. But we'll see. Unless we actually go to war with Russia and China, that'll be like, Bitcoin is going to zero because people are cashing out to buy supplies. What's going on? Exactly. Hit the likes. Yeah, thanks, brother, man. Good looking out. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we need more likes. We need more likes. Yeah, we need to get the word out. What else we got? Yeah, right? Hit that like button. So other stuff. Oh yeah, this is something that was like, this is not good news. This is like, frustrates me. So the US may be required to pay interest if ordered to refund tariffs on importers. So yeah, that's bad news. What we had last cycle, right? With COVID, we had the stimulus checks going out and people were spending their money. So we were expecting something similar to the stimulus checks. And they were calling them dividend checks because of revenue collected from the tariffs. And now if the refunds, the countries have to be refunded. And all this stuff. It's kind of funny. Donald Trump's face right here. I mean, that's how we feel, man. Because those dividend checks are supposed to be spread out among the people, and the people were supposed to be spending money. So it would have been nice for that to happen, but I guess you can't have everything. You can't have everything. But aside from that, like I said, all reports are showing that things. We had a great goddamn day. We actually went up to 74 today, right? Let me hover over that candle. What's the high? Yeah, $74,075. $74.75 was the wick high. Yeah, man, that is like amazing. I didn't think that was going to happen right now, but I was saying that we're going to have a green month, a green March, right? What's that? How many red months we had so far? We had quite a few, right? So, yeah. So, well, all-time high was in October. So we had 5 red months. But it'll be interesting, right? Because we typically have a good month in March in a bear market, and we could go up. But it'll be interesting if we retrace at like the very end, right? If Bitcoin retraces at the very end, closes red for the month, right? Let's say we have an explosive first week of March, like which we're having right now, maybe another explosive second week of March, and then we start retracing. Not to be all doom and gloom, but that would be crazy if that happens. And so then my point is, like, on paper, like on record, the March would look red. Like I wouldn't want that to happen. But yeah, if we're having an explosive couple of weeks in March, yeah, man. I mean, it's a swing trade, right? I got my software in my community to help us track our swing trades. Just sell at the pumps, and then when it retraces, just buy back in. This is not the cycle top, right? This is just like a small rally, right? So you might as well do what you can to sell small portions of your bags, at really good pumps. And when it retraces, just buy back in so that you can, build the size of your bag in terms of overall quantity of tokens. Build the size of your bag. So when the real rally happens, the real run up, the cycle top, you have a lot more tokens, and you'll be much better off, much richer, right? Imagine just from swing trading, you triple the size of the tokens you have in, whatever particular bag that you have. Whether it be something with DeFi or whatever, Moonwell, or say some meme coin like Pippin be ripping. I just bought back into Pippin today. Pippin was my 85x during the freaking bear market, man. My God. Pippin be ripping, but it has retraced. I have cashed out a lot, and I have some money in stables, just waiting to buy, at next dip for pretty much anything, not Pippin. But I did take some of my Pippin profits and I bought back into Pippin. Right now at I think it was like 320 when I bought in earlier. 320 million market cap. So it went up to like 850 million, right? So the low in my community, the bottom of my community, that we got in is at a 10 million market cap. So, it's 85x, right?
And that's why Code Monkey Mike has the greatest crypto community on the planet.
Exactly. Not only that, you can't make an excuse, right? Because if you've been watching me, and let's say you didn't join my community, right? You're not a paid subscriber, paid member, right? I've been talking about Pippin since like forever. You could have gotten in at like a 10 million market cap, because I've been talking about this since way back, since January of last year, right? I have a whole backstory, right? When this thing first pumped, I was feeling sick, right? And I just wanted to just take a nap. And I was like, this thing looks like it's gonna rip. I was like, when I wake up, I'm just going to bed. I had the flu, right? I was like, I'm going to go to bed and I'm just going to wake up. I'm going to buy it. And it was just shooting up to the moon, did like a 13x like overnight. I was like, please go back down. Please go back down. So that's my whole story. And I told everybody about it. But, you know, it was bouncing around, going up and down. I bought in, you know, and I would sell, go back, go up, and I swing trade it. And then during the tariff season, it pretty much was like from February until April of last year. Yeah, I went down to like 10 million, and I was swing trading at the bottom. And I was talking about it. So you guys got no excuse, man. You got no excuse. So don't cry. Oh man, yeah, that's right. That's why you gotta subscribe. Keep watching my channel. All right, so you get all this good alpha, excellent alpha. But nonetheless, right? Prices are so goddamn low that you can just, you know, you could DCA your way into almost anything right now. You got to choose the right token, right? You don't want to choose something that's gonna, you know, that's gonna rug or something like that. It's very difficult, especially with meme coins in a bear market. You might find like a meme coin that looks pretty damn good, and you're like, okay, this is probably gonna be pretty good, and then maybe in a few months out, I'm gonna make it rich, right? But I think pumps a little bit for a few weeks and then it just rugs. You know, you got to really be careful. That happens even with meme coins with centralized exchanges. You think like, oh, it's getting 2, 3, 4, 5 centralized exchanges. And like, damn, this team must have it going on. And then like 2 weeks later, it rugs. So, I mean, you got to be careful. But I mean, nonetheless, if you buy some of the bigger caps that are on a hell of a deal, right? A hell of a deal. Like somebody mentioned Zora yesterday. I have some Zora. Not that I want to stack more of it. I'm going to have so many tokens anyway, but I mean things like that. You know, things are some of the good ones with lots of centralized exchanges, you know, they're not going anywhere, right? Because it costs a lot of money to stay on centralized exchanges. So if they're staying on centralized exchanges in a bear market, and they're probably got something good going on, right? Not 100%, right? Obviously, this is not financial advice. God damn it. Jesus Christ. It's not financial advice. And doesn't always work out like that. You know, things could rug. Remember last year, was it during tariff season? You had Mantra, right? Mantra just took like a insane, it was the OM, right? Mantra. Whatever happened with that one? Mantra. They have this one says old. Or was this the original one? Now they have a new one. Let's just go to the old one and check out that chart. Now they have a new one. It's only 117 million market cap. Yeah, look at that rug. That's insane. It was in the billions. And it rug. That's insane. So you never know. There's always risk in crypto, no matter how high cap you're into something, right? Yeah. Yeah, you got it, man. Sandra. So I can't say you got it, man. I guess you got it, girl. Yeah. So yeah, I was just talking about Ondo just last week. I was going into this whole thing with this is, you know, obviously this is DeFi, right? But more like payments actually, right? I was going to this whole thing about Swift and their partnership with Linea, right? And then I was like, okay, XRP is sort of like wants to replace Swift, right? But why would they do that? The banks already have Swift, right? Now that Swift has a blockchain, Linea, you know, I'm bullish on Linea, then that makes me think, okay, why does anybody need XRP? But then I started thinking after that live stream, and I talked about Ondo the next day, I was like, the same goes with real world assets, right? The banks can just build their own blockchains. They want to tokenize real world assets. I mean, they don't need a third party. Do they need Ondo? Now, with that said, going back to the XRP example, people are not going to stop buying and FOMO into XRP. XRP is still going to multiply, right? And the same thing goes with Ondo. So people are going to be buying into it. I'm thinking about the overall necessity of these real world asset tokens, right? Now I hold Ondo and I hold Origin Trail, right? So, but, I mean, just because of that, like, are they going to be needed in the future, like 10 years down the road? Is it just going to be like the banks dominating real world assets, which is without a need for these third party chains like Ondo? Or it's just a question. It begs the question: is that going to be the case or not? I mean, it's a gamble, but in the end of the day, Ondo is a good play. It's probably going to at least 10x from where it is right now. Now that we're at these lows, in the next cycle top, if the cycle top is in 2027 or 2028 or whatever it is we're probably going to get a 10x at least. Not financial advice, probably going to get like a 10x, maybe more if you want to be really optimistic. But then the next crypto cycle, the next cycle top after the coming one, right? Whenever that may be, whether it be 5 years from now or 9 years from now, wherever it is, whenever it may be, does a Hondo have a future for that long-term duration? I don't know. It's up in question. But then again, you don't know about anything that far out, right? You don't know about anything. And just my thoughts about Ondo. So, you compare it to something like, for me, I'm really bullish on Housecoin, for example. It's just a meme coin. It has no utility, right? But Ondo has utility. It's useful for something. So, yeah. Nothing too bad with Ondo. Just my thoughts. I hold it. I'm not selling it. I'm hoping to get at least a good 10x out of it. So we'll see. Have I heard of this coin? Pengo? Petro Penguins? You talking about like a sort of like a parody of Pengu? Pudgy Penguins? No, I have not heard of that. Pengo. Petro Penguin? I don't know. I don't know. It depends on what they're doing, right? If they want to just rip off of a... Nah, look at that. They got no centralized exchanges. They've been around for 6 months. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with this, dude. Definitely not. Definitely not something I would go for. If this is the right one, for example, I think it is, right? That's the Pengo, Petro Penguins. But going back into all this stuff right here, let's go over this. Okay, this was funny. Somebody said, even if this is AI, which it probably is, right? It still shows a lot of wisdom, right? There are different ways to deal with problems. So this is very, very interesting. Yeah, you get everybody saying like, hey, Grok, is this real? All this thing, people saying, is this AI? And like people saying, God damn it, this is AI. But one guy said, I just saw it right here. Where the hell was it? Somebody said, regardless of whether or not this is AI, it's explaining the wisdom. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy funny. The different ways they handle problems. But going in through all this other stuff, this is some more good news. My God, some more good news. It's like we had like tons and tons and tons of good news. So break-in, the Federal Reserve officially approved a Bitcoin and crypto exchange to access their payment system. This is absolutely wild. It changes everything. Here we go, right? So this deserves a little pump. Now let me lower this volume right here on this, and let's go into who this is, because I found this article. I I found this article before I found that post from what was it? Oh, this is just someone else. Yeah, I would have been going mad if I had found this post first. I was like, "What are you talking about?" But I found this article on CoinDesk saying that Kraken becomes the first crypto company to secure Fed master account access. So it's like, what type of emojis I got here? I feel like, no, it's like Ric Flair. You know, it's like there was a lot of good ass news today. This approval lets Kraken speed up deposits and withdrawals for larger trades and institutional clients, but it's limited. So Kraken has secured a Federal Reserve master account, giving its banking arm direct access to the Fed's core payment systems and allowing it to settle payments itself. So, yeah. So the approval lets Kraken speed up deposits and withdrawals for large traders and institutional clients, but is limited, with Kraken not earning interest on reserves or accessing the Fed's emergency lending. The move is part of Kraken's effort to expand on its operations and move towards a potential initial public offering, following the footsteps of other crypto firms like Coinbase and Gemini. So I'll tell you one thing, I love Kraken. That is my go-to. That is my go-to exchange. I like their I just like their options, their capabilities in their advanced trading options, you know, to do like you know, there's just like you're not limited to like just limit orders. You can just set like a 2% spread from index, right? If it goes up, and then you want to, it's all these just weird different things that you can do with it. It's just I just found like Kraken amazing. Like some of them I don't even use, but I'm like, damn, it's cool to actually have that stuff. And sometimes I've used it and it's been, you know, pretty damn good. Pretty good experience with Kraken. So if you're not on Kraken, check it out. And what else have I got here? Is it a guarantee that crypto go down? No. I've been saying we're not going down in September. Now, like why go down in September? Everybody's calling for October to be the bottom, right? And I keep saying it's not going to happen because people are pricing that in. This is like September of the post-halving year. So last year, everybody said September of the post-halving year is always red, right? So people were saying that in August. So they were cashing out of the market. They were, you know, cashing out their crypto, getting into stables in August, so because they didn't want to get caught up in a red September. But then they turned August red, and then September was green. So if everybody believes that one thing is going to happen, usually they force it to happen or something like that. It just usually works out like that. It's just it's not good to be part of the crowd, because 90% of people lose money in crypto. And if everybody is saying one thing, if 90% of people are saying one thing, it's probably not good to follow them, right? I was explaining that before. Like, yeah, you got to do some self-reflection. If you're in the 90% and you believe what everybody else believes, you got to think about what could happen once they act on those beliefs. What's going to happen when they act on those beliefs? So it's not as simple as saying that if everybody believes that that's going to happen, the opposite is going to happen. I think it's more like you have to think about what could happen if people act on those beliefs, right? So everybody believed that we were going to descend into a crypto winter, into a bear market in the end of last year. So they started selling. And here we are. Here we are at a time when QE is starting and so on. Like, here we are. Now, there are other factors that pushed us below the 50-week moving average. I say this quite often, that the biggest thing that pushed us below the 50-week moving average is the liquidity getting sucked out of the market from the government shutdown. And then Jerome Powell saying that the interest rate cut in December might not actually happen. So turn November red. When the price went below the 50-week moving average, it confirmed with everybody that we're going into a bear market. So they started selling and selling and selling. So it's really, and then they pushed us all the way down. Now we just last week found out that the company called Jane Street Capital might have contributed to that we probably would have gotten our Santa Claus rally if not for their market manipulation. But nonetheless, it goes to the point where this is what we were dealing with. And thankfully, we're not dealing with it anymore. So typically, the long-term holders sell at the pumps. But this time around, they were selling when the price of crypto was going down. And they kept selling and selling and selling. And there was no stopping them, right? Obviously, it's not happening anymore. They kept selling, right? So you can see over here, price of crypto is going down. Price of Bitcoin is going down. And they're selling like crazy, right? So they're pushing us down. So, yeah, I mean, it's one thing. You just got to be mindful of what the crowd is going to be doing and then try to anticipate what could happen because of their beliefs. But no, I don't think that, yeah, you got it, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that, going back to this, it could work out like that. Depending on what happens this year from now until August. Like if we get a nice rally and we go back above the 50-week moving average and we're back above 100K, I think it's not going to matter. But from now until August, if we don't get back above the 50-week moving average, we're going to hit September and you're going to get a lot of people saying that the bottom is going to be in October. And people are going to be selling in September. And they're going to turn September red. And I don't know if there's going to be a new bottom. There probably wouldn't be because we're, all this stuff I've been talking about. Crypto is proven to be really resilient right now. A lot of liquidity entering the market. We're in QE. Interest rates are only going to be coming down. Obviously, they're going to be lower by the time September comes around. At least another rate cut. More money printing, things like that. And more people searching Google for buy Bitcoin because more employment is better. So, I mean, I doubt that we can hit a new bottom. I doubt that we can hit a new bottom at all, to be honest. Things like going back down to 59K. We can maybe we'll retrace. We'll probably have a good March because we're having a good March right now. And then April come along, we'll retrace. But going to a new bottom? I don't know. Possible. But I think it's more unlikely for that to happen like in September. But like I'm saying, just got to think of all possible outcomes. Like it's September right now. The bottom is going to be next month in October. Let me sell everything right now. That's what happened in August of last year, right? Every September of a post-halving year is red. It's August right now. Let me sell before September starts. And they turned August red. Just got to think on those terms. You even heard rumblings on XRP acquiring Ondo? Not sure what that is. Oh, I haven't heard that. XRP acquiring Ondo. That would be interesting. Well, Ripple, yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, that would be interesting. Who knows? Yeah, what else? Let's go back to this one, all right? This is liquidity. This is what I'm saying. The liquidity is building up. The global M2, right? You see this is the last cycle, right? This is last cycle top right here. This is Bitcoin, the black line. The green is the global M2, and that's global liquidity in the market, money supplies, right? And then you have the previous cycle before that, right? 2017. And you see all this green. Right now, you see this green building up right now. Like we had nothing but 4 years of like sideways boringness of nothing going on, even contraction. Like even if you take a look at PMI, like nothing but sideways boringness for 4 years until last month, right? Until last month. Now it's building up. I got this chart. I saw there's another YouTuber called Jesse Eckel that talks a lot about the macroeconomic data. And I think I came across his channel like in September or October of last year. And he uses this chart, and he in one of his videos, I think I've watched every single one of his videos since October, but I don't know which one, but he made some sort of a I'm paraphrasing, but he made some sort of like an analogy of imagine all this liquidity here like Play-Doh. You just roll it up into a bowl, right? And watch it just keep growing and growing and growing. Like, doesn't matter if it's spread out all through here, right? It's just, there's going to be so much of it that the market is just going to explode. So, and we're finally seeing some resilience in crypto where the slightest bad news just doesn't take us down anymore. Like the war started, crypto went up. You know, it's crazy. The blood moon happened. And crypto went up. Yeah, just crypto surge. Oh man. So President Trump says needs to be dominant. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Needs to be dominant.
This is very important. In crypto, we want to be dominant. We want to be dominant in everything we do. Which is very important. In crypto, we want to be dominant. We want to.
So yeah, you guys, click that link in the description. I don't know if I don't have anything else. I'm gonna put this into my stream deck.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback. Just click that link in the description below. Check out the greatest community ever with all this software that I got and all this tech, because I'm a code monkey and that's what I deal with. Code monkey Mike, not crypto Mike, right? We touched that in the beginning of the stream. All these gains, it's insane. Look at this, man. 552x, 148x, a 127x, a 94x. It's crazy. Yeah, I gotta check. As far as I know, we did an 85x on Pippin, but it says 75x here. But either way, it's pretty damn good, right? So I'm gonna check what's going on with that. But yeah, in a freaking bear market, can you imagine that? Freaking 75, 85x in a bear market on Pippin. That's insane. So click that link in the description below. I have no idea what the hell this is. Is this WAP related? This is not mine. Stupid WAP keeps on changing their UI all the time. Click the link in the description below and become a part of the best community ever. And if you don't do that, at least you can give me a like. God damn it. I'm gonna punch you in the goddamn balls. You give me a like. And a subscribe. Man, how many people liking this right now, man? How many people? We got 10 likes, which is pretty good, but we got 22 people watching. Give it a like, Mike. My God, dude. Give it a goddamn like. It is a good ratio, though. So you're talking about like half. You're talking about like half of people like it. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But we can get some more. We can get some more. Anyways, guys, I want to catch you guys later. It says thanks for posting your favorites list in Discord. Yeah, you got it, man. Anytime. Yeah, I want to catch you guys later.
Code Monkey, Code Monkey, Code Monkey, Mike.